Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Real Sports Live. I'm Mark Molina. I'm reporting here from London High School, bringing you more volleyball action this Friday night, and we're here from Corpus Christi, London, as the hosting Lady Pirates. We're going to the national anthem first, and then we'll be back with the introduction.
On display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past? First pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, the first interruption. The first introduction was interrupted by national anthem, but here we are, coming to you live from Corpus Christi, London High School. I'm Mark Molina. This is Real Sports Live. The hosting Lady Pirates will be taking on visiting the Port Lavaca Calhoun Sandies here, and our Friday volleyball action. A lot going on here Friday night. Got a couple of volleyball games on the slate, as well as a whole slate of football once again, entering week 2 of the season here in the Coastal Bend area. And happy to be here once again in the Coastal Bend area, as sports is alive and well here. And let's before we get started here, let's go over the Friday slate of games. Obviously, one of the bigger ones tonight for us is Refugio at George West, and then we're also covering Skidmore Tynan at Kennedy. And then we also have Tolosa Midway at Ingleside, West Oso at Taft, Odom at Orange Grove. As far as volleyball, we have this game here for you tonight, and then we also have Woodsboro at Kennedy. So a full slate of sports here at Real Sports Live. So just keep it here, and we'll bring you all the live action. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube Live, Apple TV, and the Roku Network, wherever you do social media. I'm about to get going here. Let's run down the London roster. Number 9, Ali Solis. Number 2, Andrea Alexander. Number 3, Jenny Evans. Number 5, Kara Busey. Number 6, Phoebe Ajiti. Number 6, Brooke Busenleiner. Number 8, Hannah Casales. Number 11, Lauren Sahadi. Number 12, Ashley Lynn. Number 14, Elise Gonzalez. Number 15, Taylor Marshall. Number 20, Lizzie Campbell. Number 22, Elena McNorton. Over for the Calhoun team, number 1, Leah Lucy. Number 2, Raylene Luna. Number 3, M. O'Donnell. Number 4, Alexis Iglesias. Number 5, Carrie Grantland. Number 6, Madison Stringo. Number 7, Rosie Orta. Number 8, Savannah Lane. Number 9, J.C. Roach. Number 10, Cameron Kessler. Number 11, Emma Strakos. Number 13, Morgan Gray. excuse. We had a question from a fan, but we're good to go now here as the Lady Pirates and the Sandies right now open up the game. A split at 1-1, and just want to say thank you for some of the patience here early on. I know we had a couple of interruptions, but we're good to go now here. And here's a serve from the Sandies, controlled by London. Here's a setup. Controlled by London. There's a hit by Marshall who sends it over. It's controlled by the Sandies. And there's a hit attempt by Lucy, but it's controlled by London. Nice little rally going here in the early going of this game. Here's a setup. And there was a hit by J.C. Roach, but it's controlled, but back comes the other way. Port Lavaca, the defense there with the double block. The Sandies control. There's a running attempt and a one-handed hit, and that's Hannah Casales that's going to get credit for the kill there as the Lady Pirates take a 2-1 lead. And number 8, Hannah Casales, controlled by Sandies, and that's number 9, Roach. A little too much on that one as the ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be 3-1 Lady Pirates. Casales. Here's a setup, and that's another. There's a kill by Roach as she sends it to the back line. And it's hit out of bounds by Casales. That's 3-2 here in the early going. Serve here by the libero O'Donnell as she sends that one into the net, and it's going to be 4-2 Lady Pirates after that. As Cara Busey goes to the service line, and she sends the serve over. And there's a nice running attempt. And the hit and the kill there by number 8, Savannah Lane. As Lane saw the ball, timed it perfectly, ran up to the net, and was able just to put it down. Pretty easy point there by the Sandies, as that's Busey who sends this one into the net, and that's a couple of straight points for the Sandies here to tie the game up at 4-all. Number 11, that's Strakos with the serve. There's a setup, and there's the hit from Ashley Lynn, and it's going to be a point for the Pirates there as Lynn goes up aggressively at the net, able to hit it down for the point. Brooke Busenlaner with the serve is controlled by the Sandies, sent over. Busenlaner with the setup, and that's Marshall, sends it to the back line. It's controlled by the Sandies. One-handed hit by Horta, controlled by London. And there's a setup, and still alive by London, as that's Lynn who goes up and meets a wall from the Sandies defense, but the ball's going to fall on that side of the net. It's going to be a point over to London as Busenlaner is back at the service line for the serve. There's a one-handed fist there by Strakos. There's Solis. Nice little sequence there by London as Solis able to get to the floor, keep it alive, and the Lady Pirates are able to capitalize and pick up the kill and the point as they lead 7-4 here in the early going. Another point to the Lady Pirates as Emma Strakos went up and she was going to looking for the hit there, but mistimed it and the ball fell right in front of her. And here's the serve as Straight goes with the setup. And after the whistle and the violation, another point here for London, which has taken the last 5 points here consecutively. Busenlaner sends it to the back line. And the Sandies aren't able to return it as they go down 6 points here in the early going. And as the Lady Pirates come out strong, leading 10-4 here at the beginning of set one. And as the Sandies want to talk about it, we're going to take a quick break here. Coming to you live from London High School. This is Real Sports Live. We'll be back.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
Back here from London, that's Busenlaner back for the serve, and another point for the Lady Pirates. That's going to be an ace for Brick Busenlaner. Nope, it's gonna be a point for the Sandies, and the Sandies will serve here. It's been a while as Busenlaner sets it up. And there's a hit attempt by Lynn. It's controlled as the ball falls out of bounds, and it's gonna be another point for Calhoun. 2 in a row here for the Sandies. Here's a serve controlled by London. Here's the setup. And there's a strong approach there by Lynn. With there's a whistle. And there's going to be a reserve called. And there's another strong attempt there by Lynn, who kills it down for the Lady Pirates. Pick up a point there. Ashley Lynn pretty aggressive here at the net. Good timing. Good feel for where the ball is. Just able to go up and got a good piece of it there. And able to pick up the point for Lady Pirates. Here's the Sandies. There's a whistle, and then it's going to be another point for London after the infraction by Calhoun. There's a serve by Marshall. And as Port Lavaca unable to come up with the return there. They now trail 14-6 here in set number 1 as Marshall sends it over out past the end line. It's going to be a point for Port Lavaca. Madison Stringo at the service line for the Sandies. And there's Lynn once again, goes up and gets another kill. Lynn having quite the game here early on for the Lady Pirates. Shallow serve there by Lynn, but it's controlled by the Sandies. Sent back over, controlled by London. Lynn sets it up. There's the hit by Casales, and that one's not going to be able to be returned by the Sandies as The Lady Pirates extend their lead to 16-7. There's a jump serve by Lynn, but that one goes into the net. It's going to be a point for the Sandies. Rosie Horta back to serve for the Sandies. There's a jump serve. She gets it across, and it goes off the hands of Ali Solis, the libero, who went low for it. Got there, just couldn't get the return. Solis gets that one. Here's a setup. There's a hit by Busey, but it's controlled by the Sandies. Sent the other way. There's Solis, and that one goes off of her hands as she tries to go down and make the play on the ball, but it goes out of bounds, and it's now 16-10 Lady Pirates with the Sandies serving once again. Lady Pirates got up to a really strong start here in the early going. Now they have a nice sizable lead. And there's a hit attempt by Lynn. Excuse me, that was McNorton. McNorton's back there for the Lady Pirates, ready to serve, as the officials discuss. So Elena McNorton back to serve for Lady Pirates. Sends it to the back line, controlled by the Sandies. There's a cross-court setup there by Casales, who is able to spike it down past the wall of Sandy defensemen. McNorton sends it over to the back row, controlled by the Sandies. There's a hit attempt by Morgan Gray and goes out of bounds, and the Sandies are going to want to talk it over as they now trail 19-10 here, with the Lady Pirates running away so far with this first set. So as the visiting Sandies talk it over, we're going to take another break. Coming to you live from Corpus Christi, London, I'm Mark Molina, and this is Real Sports Live.
When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits, caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats, Laguna Madre Baits. 828 Westport Drive, Port Mansfield, Texas.
And we're back here at Corpus Christi Linden High School with the Lady Pirates well ahead of the visiting Calhoun Sandies, 19-10. That's McNorton serving here as there's a two-handed hit attempt by Gray. Here's a setup cross court, and there's Solis able to send it back over in the middle, and there's a attempt and a kill by J.C. Roach to earn a point there for the Sandies. Serving for Port Lavaca is Carrie Granlin. She sends it over to the back row. It's controlled by London. There's a hit attempt by Casales, and it goes out the end, past the end line. That's going to be another point for the Sandies. Granlin back with the serve. Here's a setup, and there's a light tap by Busey. And that one's kept alive by London and sent over there by Busey. Here's the Sandies trying to take advantage, and they do, as the libero Solis couldn't get to it, and it's now, after a 19-10 lead for London coming out of the timeout. The Sandies pick up 3 straight points. And the Lady Pirates want to talk about it a little bit. Coming to you live here from Corpus Christi London High School. I'm Mark Molina. We are in set number 1 here of this girls varsity volleyball game. 1 of 2 volleyball games on the slate for us here this afternoon. We also streaming Woodsboro at Kennedy. And then we have a football slate, the Fuhio at Georgia West, Skidmore Timing at Kennedy. That's a double dip there for us, double header there, volleyball and then football for that crew. Tolosa Midway at Ingleside, West Oso at Taft, and Odom at Orange Grove. So make sure to keep it tuned in. Real Sports Live, another big Friday night for us. And that was a big block there, but for Port Lavaca. It's now 4 straight points for the Sandies. As Grantland serves, since that one to the back line, controlled by London. Here's a setup. There's a light tap and a strong approach there by Horta, who tried to double-hand it over, but sends it into the net. And there's Hannah Cazalas on the serve for London. Sent over by the Sandies. Here's London on the move. There's a strong attack there by Busey, but it's controlled by the Sandies. Sent right back over to the Lady Pirates. Here's the setup. Busey hard goes up to the net and picks up the kill. 21-14. Nan Cazalas with the serve. Controlled by the Sandies. Here's a setup. And that's a kill attempt by J.C. Roach. It goes out of bounds and it's going to be point London. It's now 22-14 here in the latter part of set number 1. It's been all Lady Pirates here so far. Here's the libero O'Donnell on the serve for the Sandies, and there's Busey, goes up hard and picks up the kill. But they're going to say when past the end line, and it's going to be a point over to the Sandies. 21-16 now. Got a scoreboard correction here at the gym. And there's Busey, goes up hard, sends it past to the back line. It's controlled by Port Lavaca. They send it back over. Here's the setup. And there's an attack there by Marshall. Controlled by the Sandies, who send it to the back row. Here's another setup. And there's Jenny Evans, sends it over. We got a nice little rally going on here. And there's an attack and there's a kill by Savannah Lane for Port Lavaca. And that's going to be another point as this set has all of a sudden tightened up a little bit. It's 21-17. After a 19-10 lead a while ago. The Sandies have taken 7 of the last 9 points. Nice save there by London. Nice rally going on here. Here's a setup. Busey attacks the middle of the net, sends it to the back line, but the Sandies control it. And there's a block there by Busey, and the Sandies can't get it over, and that's going to be a point by London. Let's go back and look at that here. A nice little back and forth. As Busey sent it to the back line, it was controlled nicely by Port Lavaca, but there was Busey once again on the defensive end. Take it back to the action here. We got a nice rally going on. And that was a kill there by Ashley Lynn. Another one. She's having a good first set. And it's 23-17 as Lady Pirates closing in on set number 1. Busey with the serve. And it goes off the libero's hand, Solis, and it's going to be a point over to Port Lavaca. 23-18 now. And this one goes into the net for Port Lavaca. That was Alexis Iglesias on the serve. It's 24-18 now. And this is game point here. As Brooke Buselaner sends over the serve. There's Buselaner with the pass. Lynn with the set. And there's Marshall, goes up but sends it into the net. It's going to be point Port Lavaca. It's 24-19 now. And here's a serve. Sent to the back line. Busenhelner pops it up. And what a play there by the London defense. Just popped up, and there's Lynn, goes up hard, and she goes up to the net and kills it, and that's how the set's going to end. And let's go to that replay. You see that play there on the back line. The Sandies able to send it back over, but London takes advantage. There's a set, and there's the kill that ends set number 1 and gives the London Lady Pirates a 1-0 lead here. But we're in between sets here. A couple of minutes before set number 2 is underway, but the Lady Pirates pick up a 25-19 set win. So we're going to head over to set number 2, but before that, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring you back to the action here from CC London. This is Real Sports Live. We'll be back.
And Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito. TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back here from London High School as the Lady Pirates hosting the Port Lavaca Calhoun Sandies and Friday afternoon volleyball action. We are underway to set number 2 here momentarily as the London Lady Pirates came up with a set 1 win, 25-19, and a set that they led 19-10 at one point. Pretty strong first set for London Pirates. The Sandies made a run late there. Brought it within 4, 21-17, but the Lady Pirates were able to finish off that first set. But the Sandies come out here with a quick point, and they lead the second set 1-0. There's a attack by Casales. There's Lynn with the back line attack. And that's Lane who sends it out past the end line, and it's now 1-1 here in the early going of set number 2. There's Cazales with the serve. Sends to the back line. Here's a setup. And there's Marshall with the attack, and Marshall sends it over back to the Sandies. And that's Morgan Gray who goes up, picks up the kill for Port Lavaca. As Gray takes a seat, and Carrie Grantland comes in, heads to the service line for the Sandies, and she sends this one towards the back line of the Lady Pirates. And here's a setup, and there's Busey, goes up hard for the kill. Clean as a kill as you can get there. As we watch the replay over, there's a nice setup, and Busey has all the time in the world just to go up there, time it correctly, and pick up the kill. Here's another setup, and there's Lynn, goes up hard to the back line and comes right back at her, and she sends it over, but the Sandies on their feet, and we're still going here. Here's this rally. Here's a pass and into another setup, and this one goes off of the hands of Casales and out of bounds, but not after a lengthy rally there by both teams. No matter who won that one, that point was going to be earned. But really impressive defense there by the Sandies during that point. There's Marshall with the attack. And there's a running approach by Horta. She two-hands it over the net. Two-hands it over that net, picks up the point there. And go to the replay as you see her just come up pretty strong, sees it coming, times it just right, able to pick up the point there. And there's a setup, and that was Lucy who goes up with it. But it's going to be a point over to London. Brooke Busenlander comes in. Serves. There's the setup by Horta. And it's going to be another point for the Sandies. It's 3-5 here for the Sandies. For Lavaca, took a while to get into a rhythm, but it seems like they are now as Raylan Luna goes to the service line, and she sends that one into the net for the service error and the point over to the Lady Pirates. And then number 15, Taylor Marshall, back to serve for Lady Pirates. And there's an attack there by Lane. And back the other way is Lynn, where it comes back to her, and she sends it over. It's controlled by the Sandies, and there's a nice little soft touch by Horta. Sends it over the net. Go back and look at the replay on the split screen there. You see the setup, and you see Horta right in position near the center of the net, able to two-hand that one over as the Sandies pick up another point and now lead 7-4. As we get a quick wipe down on the volleyball. Lane back for the serve, and it's going to go sailing past the end line. It's going to be a point over to the Lady Pirates. Number 12, Ashley Lynn, in for the Lady Pirates to serve. Little jump serve there. It is set up by Horta, but it comes back the other way and it falls their side of the net, and that's a point over to Lady Pirates. It's 7-6 now in favor of the Sandies. As Lynn with the jump serves, sends it kind of shallow, but enough to reach the back line. Marshall. And that's Madison Stringo. Gonna get credit for that point. It's 8-6 now. Sandy advantage. Here in set number 2. As you can see on our Real Sports Live scoreboard, London took the first set 25-19. They lead this match 1-0 so far, but the Sandies trying to have an answer. And that's a strong answer there by Roach, who goes up hard and picks up the kill there. As we go to the replay, and sent over by London. But you see here, nice setup and then just nice approach by Roach, and picks up the point. Lady Pirates picked up a point there, and now it's a 9-7 lead for the Sandies. Here's McNorton to serve for the Lady Pirates. Another point there for the Sandies. Here's Horta for the serve. Pass by Busey. Makes McNorton. Taps it over. It's controlled by the Sandies. Busey goes up, and she's met with a double block there in the middle of the net. That was number 9, J.C. Roach, and number 1, Leia Lucy, coming up with the defensive stop. And we have a timeout on the floor. The Lady Pirates want to talk about it, and while they do that, let's take a break.
Sharyland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sharyland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
We're back here at London High School with Real Sports Live. I'm Mark Molina. We're in the middle of set number 2 as London picks up London sends that attack out past the end line. It's now 12-7, but we're here at CC London with the Lady Pirates hosting the Port Lavaca Calhoun Sandies. The Sandies leading this set 12-7. Now 13-7 after that, out of bounds. And trying to even up this match as they trail 1-0 following the Lady Pirates set 1 win, 25-19. Busey with the soft tap just gets it over the 2 defenders in the middle. Nice attempt there by Busey. Just softly taps it and just gets it over the 2 defenders who went up pretty high and timed it correctly. It's just Busey was able to put the ball out of the reach of both defenders who barely got fingertips on it, but it was enough. Nice defensive play there by Solis as she sent it over, but the Sandy is still able to pick up the point there. As the Sandies lead 14-8. carry Grantland in for the serve for the Sandies, and that's going to be an ace as Solis can't get to it in time. It's going to be 15-8 now. And now it looks like Port Lavaca starting to separate themselves in this set two, much like London did during set one. This one popped up in the air. Busey able to send it over, but there's going to be a whistle. There's one extra hit there. It seemed like one too many. And as Busey goes to speak to the official over that. As we continue to have some discussion on the floor. It was like Busey and London coach Melinda Westcott just kind of talking back and forth with the official, running messages over. Nevertheless, it's a 16-8 lead after the Sandies get the point there after the whistle. But London's going to get it right back as Grantland sends that one into the net. It's now 16-9, and Busey back to the service line for the Lady Pirates. As she sends it to the back line. Here's the setup by Horta. There's a kill attempt by Roach. And this one's Lane who's going to kill it down and pick up the point for the Sandies. Amy O'Donnell back to serve for the Sandies. And there's Ashley Lynn, just so strong whenever she attacks at the net. She just saw it, timed it well, and just went up as hard as she could and attacked it. Just doesn't get any easier than that. As we see the setup there, and you see Lynn just so good when it comes to attacking at the net. As London picks up a point. Brooke Buselaner serves it and out past the end line. It's going to be a point, Port Lavaca. The Sandies now lead 18-11. Raylyn Luna back to serve for Port Lavaca. And there's Lynn from the side of the net. And another point for the Sandies, and Port Lavaca now running away in this set. As you recall, back in set number one, London had a 19-10 lead. And were able to escape a late little run there by Port Lavaca. As Luna sends this one out past the end line. On the service error, and it's going to be point for London. Taylor Marshall comes in to serve for the Lady Pirates. Horta sets it up, and there's a nice light tap by Lane, but it's controlled by London, but the Sandies end up picking up the point there. And London's going to take a timeout as they trail 20-12 there. Sandies with the ball ready to serve. A little bit of a back and forth here. Not within the sets, but London leading the first set pretty big. 19-10 was their largest lead in that one, but now the Sandies in a similar position, leading 20-12. Here in set 2 as they try to even up this match at 1 apiece. And Savannah Lane back for the Sandies as she sends it over the net. Busenhomer sets up Lynn, and Lynn goes up hard, and it's controlled by the Sandies, who send it over. Busenlaner gets to it, and she sends it over the net, but it goes out of bounds. Point for the Sandies. Lane serves it. Busenlaner sets up Lynn, who comes up strong and picks up another kill. It just seems anytime Lynn's been around the net, you see Busenlaner with the nice setup, and Lynn comes in strong there, able to pick up the kill. But it's 13-21 as Lynn with the jump serve. Orta two hands it really quick and picks the point there. Orta in the center of the net, timed that one nicely. And able just to send it over. We're going to look at it as there's a jump serve by Lynn. Controlled by the back line, and Orta there, who looked like she was going for the setup, it just sends it over herself. And Orta one hands it over the net, and that one goes out of bounds. And it's now 22-14 Sandies with the Lady Pirates serving. Elena McNorton on the serve for the Lady Pirates. She sends it just over the net. And there's Roach, who one hands it over the net and picks up another point for the Sandies, who are 2 points away from wrapping up set number 2. After a slow start in set 1, the Sandies finished set 1 strong and have looked strong throughout this one. As there's a jump serve there by Orta. Here's a setup by McNorton, and Lynn sends it over, grazing the net, but is controlled by the Sandies. And Lucy sends it over. Here's a setup by McNorton, and there's an attack attempt by Cazales, but that one goes into the net, and now game point here for the Sandies, who lead this one 24-14. And here's Orta with the jump serve, and she picks up the ace to end the set. 25-14. And that's worth another look there, as Orta, the jump serve, just sends it right to the foot just before hitting the back line there. But now we're all tied up here at 1 set apiece. Both teams looking strong in their respective sets. Linden came out pretty strong in set 1. Looked like they were going to run away with that. But poor Lavaca came on strong at the end of that set, but the Lady Pirates were able to hold on. But poor Lavaca had the momentum, and they showed it here in set number 2 as they pick up the 25-14 set win. We're all tied up here at 1 set apiece. A couple of minutes before set number 3. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back here. This is Mark Molina and Real Sports Live, coming to you from London High School for some Friday night volleyball. We'll be back.
Kids are headed back to school, and this year, more than ever, they'll need internet they can rely on from VTX1 companies. Internet that makes the grade is vital to connect students at home with teachers and professors alike. Our friendly staff is standing by to give you any help you may need. For a limited time only, get free installation from a company headquartered in the Rio Grande Valley. Call VTX1 at 1-800-446-2031. VTX1 Companies, connecting you since '52.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Welcome back here to London High School. I'm Mark Molina, and we're Real Sports Live, bringing you volleyball from London here on this Friday night. We have a couple of games going on here. Woodsboro at Kennedy, the other volleyball game going on right now, but this is Port Lavaca Calhoun here at London. The visiting Sandies just picked up a 25-14 win in set number 2 to tie up the match, after the Lady Pirates took a 25-19 set 1 win. So now here we are in the rubber match for all intents and purposes. But following volleyball, keep it here at Real Sports Live on everywhere you do social media, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Roku TV, Roku Network, or Apple TV, for our live and archive content. But after this, we're going to have football. We're going to have Refugio at George West, Skidmore Tynan at Kennedy, Tolosa Midway at Ingleside, Westoso at Taft, and Odom at Orange Grove. So if you're watching this volleyball game after this finishes, keep it tuned here to Real Sports Live and watch more live high school sports. As Real Sports Live is in week 2 of football season, as we extend our coverage from the Rio Grande Valley all the way here to the Coastal Bend. It's been quite a delight these last couple of weeks, as we've brought you everything from volleyball and football scrimmages now to actual games, as seasons are in play here in the Coastal Bend. But we're going to come back to the action, and the Sandies going to serve. Here's Orta, sends it to the back line. And that was Gray at the net, but they're going to call an infraction. It's going to be London ball after the point, as the Lady Pirates strike first here with Busey serving. Orta sets it up, and that was an attempt by Lucy, but here's Busey. Sends it over, and it's controlled by the Sandies. Busey with the pass. Here's a setup, and Lynn goes up hard, and Orta able to pop it up with the pass, and there's Busey with the pass. There's the setup, and Busenlaner goes up with the kill and picks up the point there for the Pirates, who come out with a couple of quick points. And there's Busey, sends it to the back line. Orta pops it up for Roach, who sends it over the net and out past the end line. And 3 quick points here for the Lady Pirates, as Busey once again heads to the service line. Sends this one over the net. Here's the pass. Here's the set by Orta. Looked like it was going to be a set, but Orta did that one. In the last game, it looked like she was going to set it up, but she actually sent it over with 2 hands. But that wasn't a point by Orta, actually, as we check the scoreboard here at the gym. It's 5-0 Lady Pirates as a set. Marshall one hands it over, controlled by the Sandy. Here's the set by Orta as Roach sends it over. And that was McNorton with the set. It goes a little bit behind her. She didn't put it right where she wanted it, as Busenlaner chases it down, and it goes out of bounds. First point for the Sandies here. Carrie Grantlin with the serve. There's Marshall, sends it over. As Fort Lavaca picks up a second straight point there. Lynn with a strong attempt sends it over, controlled by the Sandies. And that was Horta. They got down on the ground for the dig. It's sent over the net, but goes out of bounds, and it's going to be a point for the Lady Pirates. A valiant effort there by the Sandies defense. As Brooke Busenlaner serves, Horta pops it up, and there's a strong approach by Roach, and the Sandies pick up the point there after that exchange. Take a look at it one more time after the serve. Nice job there by the Sandies. Nice setup by Horta, and just a good job of the Sandies to stay with it there on that one. Go back to the action. There's Lynn at the net, controlled by the Sandies. There's Lucy with the attack. There's a setup. And that one goes off the hands of Casales. And point Port Lavaca. It was 5-0 Lady Pirates to start, but it's now at 6-4. As the Sandies have taken 4 out of the last 5 points now. With O'Donnell on the serve. And Busenlaner with a soft touch, two-hands it over the net for the point. Taylor Marshall on the serve. Popped up by Horta. And Lane sends it into the net. Be a point for the Pirates, who have now doubled up the visiting Sandies 8-4. A nice heads up there by Lynn. As the ball comes her way, she's able to go up softly with it, takes her time, taps it down, picks up the point. Another easy point there by Lynn. She's had a few of them here. Just does a good job of being in position there. As there's an ace. And there's a timeout now after that ace from Lady Pirates. The Calhoun Sandies want to talk about it. It's kind of been the theme here of both sets. One team comes out, jumps on the other, comes out to a sizable early lead, and we've seen it on both sides. As London led the first set by as many as 9, 19-10, and in set number 2, the Sandies led at one point 20-12, and came out of that one with a 25-14 victory. So these sets, for the most part, haven't been very close. As Marshall sends that one over, and another ace for Marshall and the Lady Pirates, who now lead 11-4. As Marshall sends that serve into the net, it's going to be a point Sandies. It's 11-5 now. Number 2, Raylyn Luna in to serve for the Sandies. Luna sends it over. Marshall with the pass. Busenlaner went up for it, and controlled by the Sandies. Horta serves it up. Controlled by the Sandies. Horta sets it. Luna sends it over off the set. And there's Cazales. Goes up strong, picks up the point there for the Lady Pirates. Go to the replay, nice little rally going on there by both sides. You get another look at that kill from Cazales. It's 12-5 now. Lynn with the pass. Boozing laner sets up Busey, and it's controlled by the Sandies. Lynn with the soft two-hander. Controlled by the Sandies and sent back over. Lynn with the back line attack. And it's a nice play there by Phoebe Ajady. Picks up the point there for London as the Sandies aren't able to come up with a return. Lynn sends it over. And Lynn from the back line passed it up front towards the front line, and nobody was there. As the Sandies pick up a point there, and it's now 13-6. Boozing laner sets up Busey, who goes up with the attack but sends it out past the end line. It's now 13-7. With their back-to-back points in favor of the Sandies. Now a 6-point game. Boozing laner pops it up, but JD attacks it and is controlled by the Sandies, but they're going to call the whistle there. And it's going to be a point for the Lady Pirates. As Phoebe Ajady sits down. Number 22, Elena McNorton, comes back in. McNorton with the serve, sends it towards the back line. Horta two-hands it over, and McNorton with the pass. Boozing laner sets up Evans nicely, who takes advantage. It goes up, picks up the kill. As we look at that one more time on the split screen, you see Horta sends it over, but a nice routine segment there for London to give him the point, but poor Lavaca picks up a point there, makes it 15-8. Make it one more for the Sandies, it's 15-9. There's number 6, Madison Stringo, back to serve once again for the visiting Sandies. Had some more discussion on the court in between serves, but that Stringo sends it to the back line. McNorton sets up Busey, and she sends it to the back line, and the Sandies have a little bit of a collision there on the back end as London jumps out to a 16-9 lead. Jenny Evans serving for London. Horta sets it up, and just getting to it is Roach, who sends it towards the London back line and picks up a point there for the Sandies. There's a serve here as you see Horta puts it up, but not probably in the position where she wanted to, but Roach did a good job of getting to it and able to send it over and pick up a point. Back to the action. There's another point on the front line for Port Lavaca as they've trimmed the lead to 5. Go back to that replay. There's really strong play there on the front line for Port Lavaca. As the Sandies pick up another point, it's now 16-12. And the Sand Crabs picking up a little bit of a rhythm here as Orta on the serve. It's controlled. McNorton sets up Lynn for a backline attack. And Calhoun's front line sends the ball into the net. It's going to be point London. 17-12. Busey back to serve for the hosting Lady Pirates. Orta sets it up for Roach, who hits it out of bounds. Another point for London. Roach sets up Gray. It's controlled by London. Lynn pops it up. Marshall goes up with it. And it's popped up by Orta, and it crosses the net and goes out of bounds. Another point for London, and we're going to have a timeout from Port Lavaca as London increases their lead to 19-12 here. And as the Sandies talk about it, we're going to take a break here. Live from London High School, we're Real Sports Live, bringing you Friday night volleyball coverage. We'll be back.
Come and enjoy 2 full days of Texas Fest on March 13 and 14 at the San Benito Fairgrounds. Experience the Battle of the Alamo. See the fabulous Grammy winner Eddie Da Reina Yavante and legendary Jaime de Anda, plus Los Garcia Brothers, Sereno, H3, Grupo Ácido, huge car show, market days, and join the IBCA State Championship Cook-Off. Take in Native Indian, Folklorico, and Aztec dancers, Reyes dancing horses, and rock climbing wall and games. Don't miss Texas Fest in San Benito.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Real Sports Live, coming to you from Corpus Christi Linden High School. I'm Mark Molina, calling the action here as we are in set number 3. As this match is knotted up at 1 set apiece, but it's the Lady Pirates leading 19-12 after taking 3 straight points. And that's Gray, who one-hands it over the net and picks up a point to end the little streak there by the hosting Lady Pirates. And serving number 5, Carrie Grantlin. And Grantlin with the shallow serve, but it's controlled by the Lady Pirates. As Lane comes up big there, picks up a point for the Sandies. Grantlin serves once again. Sends it to the back line. McNorton pops it up, and there's Lynn. Strong sends it to the back line, but controlled by the Sandies. Popped up, and that's Lane for the kill. Good job there by the Sandies. Because every time Lynn goes up to the net, she goes up strong, and especially if she has time to get in position, time it correctly, she's very hard to stop. But Lynn's had a good day on the front line, and here she is, gets another attempt, goes up strong, and this one goes out past the back line. Another point for Port Lavaca. And now they're within 3. It's 19-16 as this set tightens up. McNorton sets it up. Marshall tries to go across the body with it, and that's going to fall on her side still. And it's 19-17. And Port Lavaca's now strung together a couple of points. There's a serve. McNorton sets it up. And there's Lynn. She goes up strong, and she picks up a kill. And she stops the bleeding there for London. Just Lynn so good there up at the net whenever she gets a shot. And so see here in the replay, McNaughton just sets it up nice and high, but Lynn just goes up and gets it. And able to pick up the kill, hits it down strong, hard. And there's Lynn once again, but this one's controlled by the Sandy. Horta in the mix, and it's going to be a point over to London after the whistle. A lot going on there around the net. As Brooke Busenlaner serves for London. Horta pops it up. Roach goes up hard for it, and she sends it to the back line, and Busenlaner goes for it. And it gets deflected off her fist past the end line. And it's now 21-18, and O'Donnell back to serve for the Sandies as Lynn picks up a point there for the Pirates. 22-18, Lady Pirates trying to come up with an answer of their own and take back the match lead as Marshall serves this one. Horta with a nice setup for Stringo, who takes advantage and kills it. Picks up the point there for Port Lavaca as this set is beginning to tighten up. And we have a timeout on the floor. This one coming from London. So we have a break in the action, and we're going to take a break. Coming live from London High School here in Corpus Christi. I'm Mark Molina. We're Real Sports Live.
Stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
Welcome back here, and we have a really competitive set number 3 going on here between the hosting Lady Pirates and the visiting Port Lavaca Calhoun Sandies. London in control throughout in set number 3, but the Sandies coming up strong here to shorten the gap. And that's Lynn once again, so strong at the net. When that ball floats and hangs in the air for a little bit, and Lynn has a shot at it, you're going to be sorry. As we see the ball just popped up there, and Lynn just approaches, attacks, and that's all she wrote. Is London picks up another point, and it's 24-19, and the Lady Pirates a point away from closing out set number 3 and taking a 2-1 set lead here at home. As Lynn with the jump serve, Horta serves it up, and there's Lynn with the pass. There's a setup, and Lynn sends it over. Horta with the set there for the Sandies. There's a double block there, controlled by the Sandies. Horta pops it up. Busenlaner sets up Phoebe Ajiti, who sends it over, and that's a two-handed attempt there by Horta, but she sends it into the net, and she's not happy about that one. And that's how set number 3 ends, with the London Lady Pirates now leading 2-1 here. After a 25-19 set 3 win, they won the first set with the same score, 25-19. So now the Lady Pirates get a chance to close out this match. Let's see if they can pick up 2 set wins in a row. We'll find out here momentarily as we head to set number 4 here from London High School. This is Real Sports Live, Friday night coverage of Coastal Bend Volleyball. We'll be back here in a couple of minutes with set number 4.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits, caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats. Laguna Madre Baits, 828 Westport Drive, Port Mansfield, Texas.
Welcome back to London High School. We're Real Sports Live, and we're bringing you Friday night volleyball action here in the Coastal Bend. Heading to set number 4 of this 5-set volleyball match between the hosting London Lady Pirates and the visiting Port Lavaca Calhoun Sandies. Lady Pirates taking set number 3, 25-19. Arguably the most competitive set we've seen here so far today. It was pretty close at one point, but a little bit different from the first sets. It had both teams just kind of jump out to big leads and hold on. London did the same thing there in set number 3, but the Sandies seemed more on their heels throughout, but unable to come up with the victory. But the London Lady Pirates did, and they now lead 2-1 here, heading into set number 4. And the Lady Pirates are going to try to close it out here as Cazales opens with the serve. And there's Marshall, one hands it over, and that's going to stay in, and that's going to be a point there. As Marshall able to send it over the net and get good placement, stays inside the white line. As Cazales sends it over. Horta with the setup, and Roach there to with the attack and the kill. As number 7, Rosie Horta, in the serve. 1-1 here in the early go, and there's a jump serve there. McNorton with the setup, and Busey goes up strong, and she's going to get the point and the kill off the deflection from the Calhoun defenders. It's 2-1 there. Busey with the serve. Roach sets it up for Lucy, who sends it into the net. That's going to be a point there for the Lady Pirates, who jump out ahead of this one, 3-1. McNorton with the setup. And there's the approach and the two-handed return by Busey. And Gray gets good placement and the point. And she sent it to the back row. And the Lady Pirates are able to control it. So it's 3-2 here with Horta back to serve for the Sandies. With the jump serve, she sends it sailing past the end line. Point Lady Pirates. 4-2 now. McNorton sits down. Number 6 comes in. Phoebe Ajiti. Brooke Busenlaner back to serve for the Lady Pirates. All right, some discussions on the floor. A little confusion on the rotation on the Sandy side, but it looks like they got things ironed out. There's Busenlaner. Serves, there's a setup. Busenlaner sets up. There's a GD on the attack. Horta with the set for Lane, who sends it into the net. It's going to be another point credited to London, who now leads 5-2. Busenlaner sends it. It grazes the net, but the Sandies are able to control it. Roach with the return. Busenlaner sets up Lynn, who goes up strong, sends it towards the back row, but it's controlled by the Sandies, who just see it fall right in front of them. And that was Lane, who saw the ball just fall to her feet right in front of her. And it's now 6-2. And some more miscommunications up front by the Sandies as Roach misses that one. And the Lady Pirates come out strong here in set number 4, leading 7-2, and the Sandies want to talk about it. While they do that, we're going to take another break. Reporting here from London, I'm Mark Molina. We're Real Sports Live. We'll be back.
Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
And we're back. We're Real Sports Live, coming to you from CC London High School, with the Lady Pirates holding a 7-2 lead here in set number 4. The Lady Pirates also lead the match overall 2-1. As the front row for the Sandies come up big there to get a point. Stop the bleeding momentarily as they try to stick around and stay in this match here during the early going after falling behind by 5. Busenlaner sets up Lynn. Lynn goes up strong in the middle of the net. Controlled by the Sandies. And that's point Port Lavaca off the kill from Sarah Lane. It's now 7-4. Busenlaner sets it up for Lynn, who sends it over. It's controlled by the Sandies, who return it. Popped up. We have a rally going on here. And that's Lucy, who sends it towards the back row and off the hands of Hannah Cazales. That's 3 straight points there by the Sandies. Serving as the libero, Emmy O'Donnell. A JD attack sends it over. It's going to be another point for the visiting Sandies after the whistle. It's now 7-6. O'Donnell sent it towards the back row, and Busey decided to try to play it, and she deflects it out past the end line, and it's point Port Lavaca, and it's now a 7-7 set here. After it being 7-2 just a moment ago, Port Lavaca stringing together, going on a 5-0 run here so far as Lehner sets up Lynn, and she gets it thrown back in her face. That's a rare one. Double block there from Port Lavaca. That's number 1, Leah Lucy, and number 8, Savannah Lane, coming up on the defensive play. As Port Lavaca takes its first lead of this set. And Najidi sends it over, controlled by the Sandies. Orta pops it up. Lucy sends it over. Busenlaner pops it up. Lynn sets it over. And another point by the Sandies. A lot going on there in that set. You see the rally going on as Orta pops it up towards the corner, stays in, stays fair, and point Port Lavaca. And Orta just, that was not Orta, that was Stringo who came up with the clutch dig there. What a play on the defensive end. And Lynn soft taps it into the gap in between the front and back line. Nobody there. As London finally ends the Sandy streak at 7. It's now 9-8 Sandies as Lucy goes up hard but sends it into the net. And it's now 9-all here in set number 4. Taylor Marshall on the serve. Service error. It's going to be point Port Lavaca. It's 10-9 now for the Sandies, who trailed at one point 7-2. Now leading 10-9. Number 2, Raylin Luna. Orta pops it up, and that's Stringo who sends it over. Busenheimer sets up Lynn. The Sandies control it, and once again, the Sandies go into the net as that's Lane. Who couldn't return it, and it's now 10-all here. Lynn with the serve. Orta pops it up to the back line. Orta two-hands it over. Lynn with the pass. Busenlaner with the setup. And there's a soft tap over by Cazales. Busenlaner with the setup. Lynn with the back line attack. Sends it to the back row of the Sandies. As Grantland hits it over, it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be point Lady Pirates, who regained the lead. Jump serve here by Lynn. Orta serves it up for Lane. Cazales. And Lane sends it over, and that goes out once again. And London back out in front by 2, 12-10 here. Lynn with the shallow serve, but it's controlled by the Sandies nonetheless. Busenlaner sends it up. Ajiti sends it over. Orta with the set. Lane sends it over to Marshall, who pops it up and sets up Lynn, who returns it. Orta to Lane. Here's a set. And there's Busey in the middle of the net. Nice play there. As Lucy went up there and just a little bit of a misdirection midair. Nice play, able to pick up the point, but coming right back, it's Port Lavaca. As Stringo comes up with the kill. It's now 13-11, Lady Pirates. And Lane with the serve. Busenlaner sets up Ajiti, who goes up with the attack, but sends it out of bounds. It's now 13-12. Laying at the service line. She serves it and just gets over net. JD sends it over, and Busenlaner able to send it back over. Busenlaner with the set. And there's an attacking Gonzalez. And Horta two hands it into that gap between the front and back row. Go and look at that here. As there's a strong attack, but there's Horta right in the middle. Everybody expecting a serve, probably on the other side of the net, but she's able to two-hand it. Nice placement there. And there's Busey, sends it over. Horta once again with the setup. Sets up Gray. Controlled once again. Horta sends it over. Busenlaner pops it up. Busey sends it over. Horta tried it again. She sends it cross court though, and that one goes into the net. Elena McNorton back to serve for the Lady Pirates. Strong serve. Horta pops it up. Stringo sends it over. Popped up here. Lynn softly two-hands it over. McNorton pops it up for Gonzalez. Here's the setup. Gray sends it over. It's controlled by London. Controlled by the Sandies now. Stringo sends it over. Nice rally going on here. McNorton, cross-court setup. Controlled, and that one gets deflected to the back row of London, where there's nobody, and the ball goes out of bounds. It's 14 all there. After a strong rally from both teams. 14 all, the London Lady Pirates trying to wrap up this match, but the Sandies not going away as Lynn pops it up. McNorton one-hands it over. Horta with the serve. And that was Roach who went up with it, and she gets blocked and comes back to her face. As Busey's there for the defensive play. As we go back to the replay. You see Roach go up hard, and there's Busey in the middle of the net. Coming to wall there and sending that back over. Point Lady Pirates. As O'Donnell sends it sailing past the end line, and London back out ahead by 2, 16-14 now. Gonzalez on the serve. Horta pops it up. Roach sends it to Gonzalez. Gonzalez pops it up. Marshall sends it over, and that goes out of bounds. Point Port Lavaca. You can feel the game intensity just picking up here, and as the action's starting to pick up tempo. Then sends it towards the back line. Horta with the setup. Roach in the center with the attack. Controlled. And that ball just floats over and falls on the Port Lavaca side of the net. Busey back to serve. Lady Pirates back up by 2. Busey with the serve. Sends it to the back row. Horta sets up Roach, who looked to be in good position, but can't get it. And she does. Looked like it went out, but that's going to be a point for Port Lavaca. You see Roach attacks the net strong, and it falls, as you see, just inside that white line there. So that's point Port Lavaca. Here's Lynn, and she gets it to fall. And there's another kill for Lynn, who's had a big game here. And London right back out in front by 2, 18-16. Brooke Busenlaner back to serve. There's a setup. Horta pops it up. Buselaner sets it up, and Lynn sends it to the back row, and there's nobody there, just inside the end line. And London takes a 3-point lead, and there's a timeout on the floor, and that's going to be the Sandies wanting to talk about it as they trail 19-16 as they try to stay alive in this match, but the London Lady Pirates trying to finish this off in 4. And while there's a break in the action, we're going to take a break here. Coming back to you in a little bit here from London. This is Real Sports Live, bringing you Friday night volleyball action. Welcome back to London here, where the Lady Pirates trying to get out of here in 4 sets. They lead 2-1 and lead set 4 19-16 over the visiting Calhoun Sandies. And there's a strong approach at the net by the Sandies, but a little bit of miscommunication there by the Lady Pirate defense. As Busenlaner and Cazales give a kind of bewildered look at each other, but they'll regroup, and as they nurse a 2-point lead, and there's Lynn, sends it over, does the same once again, and there's Lynn, just such an imposing force in the middle of the net. Seems almost effortless there, as she's cool, calm, and collective around the net, able to make the play on the ball while the Sandies defense sent scrambling. And 20-17. Nice dig on the back line there by Busey. And Lynn goes up, pops it over. Busenlaner sends it over the net, and that's going to go out of bounds. 20-18 here. Sandy's trying to stay alive here. Trail by 2 points. Just haven't been able to get over the hump here in the latter part of this set. They've been close, as Luna with the serve. Busenlaner sets it up, and there's Lynn. Sends it to the back line. Controlled by the Sandies once again. Busenlaner. Horta with the setup. And there's Lynn playing defense there. Big defensive play by a big number 12 in the middle for Lady Pirates. She's had a good game here. Big reason for the Lady Pirates being in position here to pick up this match victory in 4 sets. Busenlaner sets it up, and there's a GD. Controlled by the Sandies. Horta sends it back over. Lynn with the pass. Busenlaner with the set. Busey lightly taps it and picks up the point. Just nice work there overall by London. Nice pass, a nice set. And just a simple soft kill, just routine stuff here as Horta two-hands it. Ajiti pops it up. Busenlaner sets up for Busey. Busey sends it over. Horta pops it up. And that's Lane for the kill. It's 22-19 now. For Lavaca serving. That's Lane who sends it over. Busenlaner sets it up. Lynn backline attack. Lynn pops it up. Busenlaner with the set. Gonzalez sends it over past 2 Port Lavaca defenders. Now 23-19. Lady Pirates 2 points away from closing this one out in 4 sets. Both teams split the first 2 sets, but London came out pretty strong in set number 3, hung on for that 25-19 win to go up 2-1. And London has not run away with set number 4, but have steadily just stayed out in front of the Sandies, not allowing the Sandies to string together much momentum. Pretty consistent play here by the Lady Pirates. To the back row, that's Marshall, McNorton, and there's Lynn, goes up hard with it. There's a deflection in the middle of the net, and another point for the Lady Pirates, and it's 24-20. Looking for the set point and the game here are the Lady Pirates, and Cazales sends it over out past the end line, and the Sandies hanging on. And set number 4, Orta back to serve. McNorton pops it up, and there's Lynn with the back line attack. Lynn with the pass, McNorton pops it up. Marshall sends it skipping over the net. Orta, there's Roach, controlled by London. There's Lynn once again. It's popped up by Orta. Riley here, McNorton. Busey sends it over the net. Orta pops it up. Gray sends it to the back row, controlled by London. Popped up by McNorton. And there's Lynn, and he gets thrown back the other way by Roach. Nice defensive play there by Roach. It's 24-22, and the Sandies once again within 2 points. And a timeout by London, who's trying to pick up a point and get this match win. 24-22. Just keep it here, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the middle of one of 2 volleyball games here tonight. We also have Kennedy hosting Woodsboro. And we have football coming up right after this. We have a couple of games. Rafuhi at George West, Skidmore Tynan at Kennedy, Tolosa Midway at Ingleside, West Oso at Taft, Odom at Orange Grove, all brought to you by Real Sports Live as we extend our coverage here to the Coastal Bend. And London still trying to put this one away. And the Sandies just trying to hang in here. There's a setup by McNorton. And there's Morgan Gray. She tries to send it over, but she just can't. Gets deflected out of bounds, and that's how this one's going to end. 25-22, the end of set number 4, and that's the match. CC London picks up the win, 3-1 over the visiting Port Lavaca Calhoun Sandies. And what more can we say out of this one? Big credit to this win goes to number 12 Ashley Lynn for London, who came up big at the net, all over the floor for the Lady Pirates. But keep it here, ladies and gentlemen, at Real Sports Live. A lot of football coming your way. So just follow us wherever you guys do social media. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Roku Network, and once again, that's slate of football for you guys. Rafuhi at George West, Skidmore Tynan at Kennedy, Tolosa Midway at Ingleside, West Oso at Taft, and Odom at Orange Grove. Make sure to keep it here at Real Sports Live. Check out all our archives and all our live games here for Friday night, as we're excited to bring you another week of sports coverage from the Coastal Bend area. But for me, Mark Molina, my cameraman, Jerry Trevino, I want to say good night. Thanks for joining us here at Corpus Christi, London. Once again, CC London picks up the win, 3-1 over Port Lavaca Calhoun. Have a good Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Real Sports Live.